Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel, and I am excited to be here. I'm excited to get into Paycheck 1 budget here. I'm going to set this up. I'm going to show you my estimates for Paycheck 1, what's already clear, because actually today is March 2nd, and I'm just a little behind getting this set up for you guys with you guys. So much happens at the end of one month and beginning of next in two channels, and I'm like, oh my. And so I am excited to get into this. I have been tracking this in my Excel spreadsheet, so we're good there, and I am just ready to get started. I do want to show you my cover for this month because I don't typically show my covers, but I love this one. This is my favorite. I use an Erin Condren 7x9 planner, and this is my favorite of all my covers is the clovers. I would use these all year round. I really would. And I just think it was just really, really pretty and bright and vibrant, and just, I don't know, it's one of my favorite covers that they have. So we're just going to deal with Paycheck 1 and setting that up. Next time you see Paycheck 1, I will be closing it out and setting up Paycheck 2 in my next Paycheck video. And that won't be until the 10th, I believe. Is that the next Friday? Not this Friday coming up, which is the 3rd. It's the 10th, yeah. So Friday, March 10th, and the 11th is when that video will go up. So I usually film it on the day that payday is, and then upload it to YouTube the next day. That way I have time to edit and everything's kind of straight and I don't have any hiccups. So, all right, let's go ahead and zoom in, and I'm gonna fill these out as far as the titles, and we're gonna go over the amounts and where our money moves are happening in the first paycheck of every month. So let's do these money moves.
As a young girl, it feels we're mine.
Okay, I am back. So I have everything written down. I have all the categories, everything I want to track, what I want to know, what do I need to see in order to make sure I have everything that I need. So I remember saying something in my monthly video, and somebody made a comment back, and thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. To combine some of the things, and I do combine some in my monthly things like the tithing and Dr. Odell and Roth IRA, which happens multiple times. But they were like, even because I keep running out of room. Oh, you can't even see all that. I keep running out of room in these notebooks, and I'm so used to using a larger one than previous years, and it worked out really well, but I really wanted something more compact like this, and I love the size of this, but man, it is hard to get everything in. And the way I need to see everything without messing things up is seeing the individual transactions. So no matter how small they are, it could be 99 cents, I'm still going to write it separate. So I struggle with that, going back and forth, combining subscriptions together or not, and how to categorize things. So if you have that issue when you're doing your budget, let me know. Let me know I'm not the only one. Because we will pray for each other on that and hopefully figure out what works best for us. Here I'm going to put budget estimate here. Even though the actuals already happened, I'll write the actuals later. But my husband's military retirement, which happens the first of every month, is the same. After February, we know exactly what he's getting for the entire year, every single month, so that it doesn't change unless the government decides to change something about it. So that's going to be the same. Let's see, it's $1,759.30. VA disability for serving 20 years on ships and about breaking his back one time. $2,353.39. He's actually fine. His back, he has to go to the chiropractor, but he didn't severely hurt himself, thank goodness. But yeah, that's just kind of how life goes. Now, rent and dividends. So we have a, what do you call it? Credit union. So my son I transfer money from my son's account when he gets his SSI to pay us rent, which is the point of SSI for him. And then I add the 2 pennies or 3 pennies that they add to our checking account, depending on how much the balance was in the previous month. So I just kind of put that right there. So that's the rent, $7.44, and then 2 pennies for the dividends. Let's see. I do have a balance for it. Now, I did say beginning of this year, I wasn't going to balance forward every month to month. I did do that this time from February to March because it just didn't make sense to move money around when all I was going to do is pay off a credit card. And I'll explain that in just 1 minute. But I did balance forward $385. Let's see. Yeah, $385.37. And then I'm going to put like a little dash right here, and that's going to be $631 even. So that is our federal return. I'm just making note of that right here. All this actually already deposited. This is what my bank account had the night before my husband's paychecks came in, first of the month checks. So we had $385 from February move into March. And then my husband and I had a federal return of $631, and then the military retirement, VA disability, and rent, and then the little bit of dividends there. So that total right there is the income we're working with for Paycheck 1. Now, the first of the month is when our mortgage comes out, and that's a pretty hefty part of it. And then the rest of it is our spending categories and other bills. So that's what we're going to move on to next after I total this up really quick.
We played hide and seek.
Okay. Oh, I had to add that a few times. Kept hitting the wrong buttons. So I have $5,873.08 to start March with. And that'll be Paycheck 1. Again, most of that is going to, not most of that, a good portion of that is going to go to the mortgage, and we're paying an extra amount to the mortgage. So let me write this number down. 5,873.08. There we go. Now, the first thing I want to put is our tithe, which I've already taken out, and that was $175, and that ties the military retirement. Mortgage is $2,477.67. That is $550 more than what we need to pay, but we want to pay it off by the time we're 65. So that's a 15-year payoff. Spectrum, it went up a few dollars. So check your bills if you notice there's a difference. I'd look to see if they increased the price of any of the services, and they did not. They increased, what increased was the fees and taxes for our area for broadband. I have no idea. There was no notice. It just kind of happened, and it was like it bumped it up from $190.99 to $192.32. So a little over $1 and some that changed right there. So I don't know why they did it. I really don't. But they did. So Roth IRA, I made my money moves here, which is putting this into a money market account with our emergency fund and a few other savings. And I save up all year to build up my Roth IRA so I can put it into my one-time payment at the beginning of next year. This is 2023. No, yeah, this year's 2024. That is the Roth IRA I'm saving up for right now. So I've already put in my full contribution, $6,500 for 2023, and I'm just letting it ride and praying God blesses it and grows it and all that stuff. So, and I want to do this every year like this. Paramount Plus is our subscription, $5.99. Amazon Music is my husband's subscription, which is $9.53. Humana Health is my son's health insurance. I'm hoping to drop this very soon. I don't think we're going to pay this next coming month, but we'll have to wait and see. I need to talk over some things with my husband. $70. And the reason I say that is my son has Medicaid, and it's covering pretty much everything, and he doesn't need both, and we don't need to keep paying both. So, and that's what I'm learning. So that's good. Water this month, I do know it did go up a few dollars. It was like $50.11 last month, and now it's $57. I'm not sure what the difference. Could be price, it could be water usage. I don't think we used more water this month, but it might have. We did adjust the temperature to our hot water heater, just slightly up so that we would have hot water longer for everybody. It just wasn't staying hot long enough, and I think it was set on a very conservative, energy efficient. And the people that lived here before, it was just the two of them. So really they didn't go through hot water that fast. We have 4 adults here, so that kind of wasn't working. Jim, Greater Europe Missions is where this goes to. Whoops, that's not even a number. Where we're helping support missionaries overseas. So 231.75, and this ties the VA disability that came in. Let's see, what do I have next? So I have for Paycheck 1 spending categories. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my notes on that. So grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline. I am budgeting for the first couple weeks of March. Now Paycheck 1, before getting further, is covering the 1st through the 9th, these to the 9th, and then my husband gets paid again. Now I'm covering it like it's a full 2 weeks, even though it's not a full 2 weeks. It's you know, basically from here to here is a week and then a couple of days. So, but any money I budget for the full 2 weeks, I can carry over to the next paycheck period and still use it to cover what I need for those weeks. So it just works out easier this way when I budget. And I break it down by week. So right now it's $260 every week. And so when I do it for 5 weeks, because we have a 5-week month this month in March. Let's see. So Paycheck 1 is $520 for what I'm budgeting, and then when I do week 1 and week 2 of my weekly check-ins, I will be putting in the actual number here and then balancing forward anything that's left over, or if I spent too much, I will compensate with the other paychecks. Let's see here. $80 for restaurants. That's really low. We're only paying for restaurants for our sons. Pizza nights on Friday nights, and this is more than what they need. And the reason is because we're not going out to eat, me and my husband. And that's kind of our sacrifice during this Lent season. You know, that's what God laid on our hearts. So that's what we chose to do. So I drastically reduced it to make sure that we would stay on track with that. Let's see, miscellaneous was $100. And then gas, I think is, I have 100 for paychecks too. So $25 is what I'm starting with here. And that $25 would balance forward, and it would probably be next week before we need it. $50 for my husband to get gas, and he only spends like $30-$40, so that's not bad. I have full tank of gas, I'm good, so I'm just kind of balancing forward an amount to make sure we have money to cover that. Let's see, nothing, let's see, copay. Do I have anything for copay? Oh, I got it backwards, I'm sorry. It's $50 here, it's $25 for copay. I thought that was a little odd, but I was like, I'll go with it. I was looking at the wrong numbers. There we go. And then $25 for copay. There we go. And then $0 for unbudgeted. And I'm going to make a note. Let's see. Do I want to put it here or want new unbudgeted here? I think I want new unbudgeted here. I'm going to put February unbudgeted. February unbudgeted. All right, and so in February, there were 2 items that were unbudgeted for the credit card. And the reason they was because I wanted to pay for it with like the tax return. Well, I got $631 from the tax return for our federal. And so what I did with that, the first part of this, $631 minus $225, which was what we paid the tax preparer to do our taxes for here and another state and all the combinations of thereof. I just didn't want to deal with it this year. I paid for that, and then left $406. I took $406 plus the difference between this and 636. Oop, I did the numbers backwards. 636, 66. There we go. And the difference of $230.66, I borrowed that from this budget in order to cover the GalaxyCon tickets I also bought. So the total, 225 plus the 636.66 was $861. This was what was sitting on the credit card, and I wanted to pay that off. I just didn't like leaving it there for very long. And I'm like, well, I can see enough room in the budget to cover that, which is why I also balanced forward money this time, because I was going to use this money to pay for part of this as well, alongside with the tax return. So the combination of those two covered quite a bit of it, or all of it, I can't remember, but I needed to pay this $861. So when the other two state tax returns come in, one for Virginia and one for Kentucky, once those two things happen, then I can take care of, I won't have to come back and go ahead and pay this off. I've already paid it off, and I just kind of repay us in our budget with the difference. So that $200 and some that I showed you a minute ago, that I took out of the budget. So I need to account for that right here. And so February unbudgeted was $861.66. So I'm going to count it in this, and I've already paid it, so I know that is actually going to be paid, $861.66. And it's already paid out of all that. So the important thing in here is when you're doing your budget is if you're going to make specific, take a specific income to pay a specific thing, keeping track of it and making sure that you are paying off what you want to pay off, making sure you're taking care of the regular budget and what you need to take care of on a regular basis so that you don't mess things up. It's easy to trip up and go, oh, I thought I was supposed to do this and I did this and it didn't go right. So just writing it out on paper and making sure you have it tracked out definitely helps with that. That's why I always write it on paper. So there you go. As far as the water bill, which is usually utility, it's usually a variable. This is the actual bill. I've already seen and got emailed the actual amount. So I usually know by the time I'm filling this out what I have to pay. There's no other utilities on here that I don't know the bill. I know exactly what all the bills are for this paycheck period. So that works out really well. So what I'm going to do is total the fixed and the variable and give you the estimated amount of basically what the what we could potentially save or balance forward to the next paycheck. So I'll be right back.
Raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore.
Okay, I am back. So I have totaled these two numbers. I did make a change. I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea what I was talking about a minute ago. I split these in half for some reason. I only split them in half when I have to do the weeklies. And I think when I talked about the weekly check-in or brought it up or something, it triggered my brain to split these. Miscellaneous for paycheck one is $200, gasoline is $100, copay is $50. Now it makes so much more sense. I don't know what the heck I was thinking before. And then I have my unbudgeted from last month that I'm paying this month, and $520 for groceries. That was right from the beginning, so there you go. These two totaled together is $5,772.59. The difference between that and the income is $5,873.08 is $100.49. So I'm still, it shows it negative, but I did it in reverse, but it's actually positive, $100. So I should still have $100.49 left over for this paycheck period when I go to balance forward from paycheck one to paycheck two. As long as my spending categories don't go over, and I don't think they will, because it's only 9 days. This is more than what I need for 9 days. And and I can kind of cut back and save in that and just balance it forward to the next paycheck period, then I'll have more than $100 left over in paycheck 1 to go to paycheck 2. So I think that's pretty good. I think we are on the right track and everything is really good. So I feel better knowing the exact numbers of what I'm working with. I'm going to zoom out here with you. But I just to know what we have for paycheck 1 for the first 9 days of March, it just puts, it's like a brain dump for your budget. It's a brain dump of what you need to know for whatever time period you're working in. And you go, okay, now I don't have to think so hard about it. I know what I have available and I will just stick with those parameters. And you're telling yourself what to do. You're literally telling your money where to go and you're telling yourself what to do. And that's why I love assigning a name to every dollar, whether I'm giving, whether it's a bill, whether it's spending, regardless of where the money is going. When you name it, it's like naming your car or your favorite inanimate object, like your phone, or a lot of us name our planners and things like that. You know, your favorite pen, and you have a nickname for it. When you name it, it personalizes it and gives it something important and importance to you. So that, I think, is why most people, when they budget and they're naming where everything goes and they're telling where their money they go, succeed so much, is because they put meaning behind the money, which is a tool to help you accomplish your goals. So I hope this video helped. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
Faithful and free, without a care.